offer that he was called away to the bedside of a friend who was very ill. He said to his father, "It's a good thing he did. I don't approve of young men refusing dinner invitations at the last minute."
I'll take a box and papers.
Oh, it's too bad. Oh, Aki's planned it all so beautifully, and it's getting so late. Someone might be coming at any moment. How cook?
Cook's in a temper as always, man.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. But she's like an actress. The better the temper, the better the performance. But as long as she serves us a good dinner, I don't care how much she swears. The rest of you can just keep out of her way. Where's Gustav?
I'm sorry to have to say it, madam, but there's such an awful visit out. He's sweeping off the site.
Dear me, yes. I should have ordered an awning. But who expected a storm like this? Here is the diagram, Mother, and the place cards. Shall I put them around? Yes, dear. Oh, Elaine, I'm going to have to look after your father. He's so helpless about his ties. Remove one plate, Donna.
Remove one plate, madam. Oh, madam, it is a certainty. You would not sit down with 13. 13! Oh! Why, you're right. 13! We can never sit down. 13! Oh, it's all due to Mr. Harper's negligence. He's sick for nothing. He's just one of those careless men who never answered invitations in time. And his flowers, indeed, to make me forgive him. Now look at the trouble he's put me to. 13! I wonder who we can get him at the last minute. Quick, Elaine, help me think. Oh, there's always Uncle George. He never opens his head. Mr. Morgan, madam, he always tells a joke or two.
Why, yes, how clever of you. Clever. Hello, Central. Lakeview 5971. At once, please. Elaine here. Your hair is much too tight. Pull it out. Pull it out. Come here. Mr. Morganwell, this is Mrs. Pringle from across the street, yes. When Mr. Morgan gets in, have him call me right away. I want him to dine with us. Oh, in about 10 minutes. You expect him? Have him call me right away. Now, if he shouldn't get it, well, then what will I do? Well, Mother, I don't have to be at the table. It's your party anyway. Everybody's married and older than I am. Well, didn't I push you next to Oliver Farnsworth? Millions! He's worth millions! Well, he won't be giving me any. Can't he marry you? Aren't you going to try to make a good match for yourself? I think every eligible man at your head! Can't
about it. Whoa, 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 set me free, why don't you, baby? Get out my life, why don't you, baby? Set me free, why don't you, baby? Get out my life, why don't you, baby? You say you still care for me, but your heart and soul needs to be free. Now that you got your freedom, you still wanna hold on to me, but you don't want me for yourself, so let me find somebody else. Hey, yeah, why don't you be a man about it and set me free? You don't care a thing about me, you're just using me. So go on, get out of my life and let me sleep at night. 'Cause you don't really love me, you just keep me hanging on. You don't really want me, you just keep me hanging on. New York has lost its heart to me. Well, I was just telling Mr. Farnsworth yesterday that I would give anything to have the prince here. Well, I would establish my social position for life, and I've such a reputation for being a wonderful hostess. Dear me, the telephone. Hello? Mrs. Sedgwick. Yes, this is Mrs. Pringle. What? Oh, caught in a snowdrift. Can't get another car. Good. The widow can't come. That makes us 12. Remove 2 things, Dunham. Oh, what a shame. Oh, I'm heartbroken. Oh, my dear. How can we get along without you? But really, have you tried? Oh, I'm reduced to tears. Oh, goodbye, my dear. Well, I'm glad she dropped out. Central, give me Lakeview 5971. Done! With 2 less, we can save 2 cocktails and at least 4 glasses of champagne.
Oh, champagne.
Has Mr. Morgan come in? Well, Joe gave me the message I telephoned earlier about crossing the street to Mrs. Pringle's for dinner. It's too late. You understand. Well, anyway, I've invited Clem, returned my indebtedness, and saved my champagne. Well, and besides,
Your is getting a bit low, madam. What with prohibition and entertaining so much?
But mother, if you leave it at 12, father can't sit at the head of the table.
but he must sit at the head of the table. It looks too undignified when the man in the house is pews to the side.
There's no other way. There must be a woman at each end.
Oh, how sad. I always forget. The 12 is an impossible number. But I don't want any of these women at the head. Well, there's Mrs. Darby. She's such a cat. I wouldn't give her the honor. And Mrs. Answer it, Donald.
Mrs. Pringle, Clifford. A message? Yes, sir. Sir? Mr. Darby. Doctor says your baby has the chicken pox.
The chicken pox! Everything!
Yes, sir. Mr. Darby sends his apologies, but owing to the transmutability of the disease, Mr. and Mrs. Darby feel obliged to regret, and also their house guests, Mr. and Mrs. Fleetwood.
Well, that's 4 out!
Then you're only 8. Quick! Friday, 5971. This is Elaine Pringle. What type am I speaking to? Oh, Emma, hello. We had a party arranged here, and at the last minute, everyone's been dropping out. The blizzard. Can't you flop your family around the corner and eat with us? Mother and I thought we knew you well enough to call you like this at the 7th hour. You would? Oh, fine. 6 more plates, Stella. What? Oh, Dunham! Dunham! Get Mother quick! Yes? Oh, yes, certainly. Love it. Yes, my dear. All right. Oh, great Caesar! Now what have I done? What's the matter? Elaine, what is it? Now I've done it. I just done it. But I couldn't get out of it. I just couldn't. And you weren't here, and I always lose my head and bungle things. But what? Don't keep us waiting like this. And what is it? I invited Ella and the family, and she accepted, and then she said they had 2 house guests and would it be all right, and of course I said it would, and now... Oh, 16!
Oh, 16, madam, the table isn't that long.
Just like you! No tact! No worldly wisdom! If I went on the road, I would have polite reserve at my table!
But you weren't at the phone. You ought to attend to such messages yourself. You know I always lose my head.
But the dishes, madam, and you've only got 14 squabs.
I won't eat any. But I must not be disgraced. We'll have to make the best of it and insert it in the board.
But Mother, I needn't sit at the table.
You are going to sit right next to Oliver Farnsworth. I don't wish to hear another word about it.
But can't we squeeze them in without all work of adding another board? If I move the plates of
Have you forgotten that Mr. Tucker weighs something like 250 pounds? And Mrs. Corley has no waistline. It can't be done.
Cook to the maid, madam. She says she'll be prepared for 14.
Well, I can't help it. Well, she'll have to prepare for 16. Just tell her to open some cans of soup and
But the
vegetables.
ice cream forms and the gelatin molds.
So I'll pretend I don't like them.
And I'll pretend I'm on a diet.
But I really want to have to be at the table.
Until that romance.
too dangerous. Oh, Jessica. Oh, you poor dear. Oh, yes. Your husband's right. It would be foolhardy. Put on mustard plaster, a hot toddy, go to bed. So sorry. There! Well, that's wonderful! We're back to 14!
The cards are all wrong. Only 6 are coming who were originally invited. You'll have to make another diagram.
Don't you want them seated? Give it to me! Oh, what a mess! Oh, I spent hours over this diagram! There's so much to pick without having to get seated harmoniously. Let's come doorbell, Dunham. I told you I could answer it for you, but go. Peek into the drawing room. Or tell me who it is. Oh, you murderous instrument. What have you to say? Now what? Hello? Who? Mr. Farnsworth? Mr. Oliver Farnsworth? Oh, no. You're his secretary. He's what? Instructed you to make his excuses for him? Had to leave to Boston at once on important business? No! How dare he! How dare he! At the last minute like this! No regard for a hostess's feelings! No regard for the effort she goes to provide an evening's enjoyment! It's such a good dinner I had planned! And he promised he'd come! Business! I don't believe it! He didn't want to exert himself! He was afraid of freezing in the blizzard! As if he didn't have a half a dozen limousines to carry him to the car! Selfishness! Downright rudeness! And worth millions! Who just the match for you, Elaine! Who I was bound you should sit next to him and meet him tonight. I don't know what I can give you with a chance like this again! Who I'm perfectly furious! And I'll never speak to him again! I won't have been treated like this! And I, one of the most important hostesses in the city! People clamoring to receive my invitations! All of my affairs a success! And I insist that they shall be! Oh, I can't bear a failure! I won't have a failure! He was my most important guest! He's such a man's man! He's so important financially! Every man considers it an honor to meet him! And now, not coming! I'm furious! Furious! And it's all this damnable blizzard!
Now I will have to stay away from the table. His not coming makes you 13 again.
Well, go to bed! Come on to the nursery! I'll bring you milk and crackers! It's not my leading business out of town! Oh, yes it is! If you perk up a bit, not be so timid! Make something of yourself! Maybe hear of your attractions by the man and be curious to meet you himself! Oh, what a family I have! No one to help with my ambitions! Go ahead! I certainly will sit down at 13! Go ahead! Get out of my sight!
Oh, it's Mr. Morgan, madam.
Mr. Morgan! But I telephoned his maid to tell him not to come!
You couldn't have received a second message, madam, for I heard him explain to Mr. Brindle how happy he was to have received. Thank you. Received your telephone invitation.
That makes you 13 again, unless you don't want me to go to bed.
Well, of course I don't want you to go to bed. We're back to where we started. 14, Dunham.
I'll get the cocktail, madam. Annie told me there were several motors making their way through the snow. It's late now. Cook's swearing about the dinner getting dry.
I won't answer it.
But I should say not. Hello. Yes, this is Mrs. Pringle. Yes. Oh, Mrs. Topper. Oh, yes, Mrs. Topper. But you must come. Oh, but we're prepared for you. Yes, for all 8 of you. Your daughter told my daughter about her house guests. plates are set. But your daughter was quite right. It's not an imposition at all. But you must come. The table is set. There's room. Oh, but I beg of you, don't take that stand. Why, my dear, no. Oh, what do you think of that? Mrs. Tupper is perfectly furious at Ella for telling about the house guest, and said Ella has a new cat, and that nothing would induce her to bring 8 when we invited 6. So, she's leaving Ella and Henry at home. Only 6 are coming. We moved 2 plates down. We're 12 after all.
Mother, if you leave it at 12, Father can sit at the head.
Oh, I shall go mad! Who'll never entertain again? Never! Never! Well, people ought to know whether they're coming or not. Will they accept and regret and accept? Will they drive me wild? Oh, this is my last dinner party! I'm very last! Oh, never again! Oh, I'm through with parties! With parties and friends! They'll miss my entertainments. They'll wish they'd been more courteous. From now on, I'm going to live for myself. I'm going to be selfish and hard and unsociable and drink my liquor myself instead of offering it gratis to the whole town. I'm through with men like Oliver Farnsworth. I don't care how rich they are, how important they are, how influential they are. They're nothing but their courtesy and consideration. Business! Off on a train! Oh, nonsense! He didn't want to come! He didn't want to meet a sweet, pretty girl! He didn't want to marry her! But he's not good enough for you! Don't you marry him! Don't you dare marry him! I won't let you marry him! You hear? You try to elope anything like that, I'll break it off! Yes, I will! Oliver Farnsworth will never get recognition from me! He is beneath my notice! I hate Oliver Farnsworth!
A note, ma'am, from Mr. Farnsworth.
A note from Mr. Farnsworth.
Yes, ma'am. There are 2 strange gentlemen in your hall. They presented this letter. Said it was the secretary. All the other guests are upstairs in the drawing room. I counted 12 in all, including you and Mr. Pringle and Miss Elaine. But the 2 gentlemen downstairs are waiting for your answer. The one gentleman's face looked very familiar, but I just can't place it. Although I'm sure I've seen his face somewhere.
See his face! Somewhere! Help me! It's the Prince of Wales! Oh!
The secretary said you cut off at the last minute or else central disconnected you. He was about to tell you that Mr. Farnsworth knew that blizzard had prevented His Highness from keeping an engagement at Whale Town.
The Prince of Wales is sitting in my lower hall, waiting for me to ask him to dinner.
But Mother, then you'd be 13 again.
There's the secretary, miss. He is his bodyguard.
Certainly, the secretary may. We'll be 40 at dinner again. Serve the cocktails, son. The guests may sit wherever they choose, and the prince will come in with me.
But Mother, wasn't it nice of Oliver Farnsworth to invite the prince in his place?
Well, didn't I ever say that Oliver Farnsworth was the most considerate of men?
I think I shall like Oliver Farnsworth.
Silly child. It's too late to like Mr. Farnsworth now. It's time now to like the prince. Oh, I was managed to somehow be the most successful of hostesses. Thank God for the blizzard!
Oh, I thought this was the lid.
It's the Prince of Wales! Times have changed, and we ought to rewound the clock since the Puritans got a shock when they landed on Plymouth Rock.
God, no.